This is Detechnician here, and this is my first attempt at a YouTube video. I'm doing metal detecting properly for about 2 years, even though I've owned a detector for about 15 years. I didn't really take it out of the attic much until about 2 years ago. Then I realized that the detector I had was a piece of crap, so I started investing in detectors. The first proper one I got was Garrett 250, which I very quickly found out wasn't good enough, so I ended up buying a 400i, which is what I use mostly now. I also have the simplex, but I'm still not comfortable with the simplex. Yes, it's a great machine for depth and for finding metal, but I find I haven't figured out the discrimination. And I think for me the 400i is a superior machine, but that might be just because I need to get out more with the simplex. I only upgraded it to the latest upgrade the other night, the 2.77 I think it is, and I haven't used it yet. So hopefully in the next few weeks I'm going to get out on some pasture with simplex and put it through its test paces, and maybe if I could get out with the 400i and compare, but that's a lot of work. Anyway, so I'm based in Ireland, and anyone that knows anything about metal detecting in Ireland knows that it's a controversial subject. A lot of people in the archaeology world don't like metal detectors. It kind of goes back to things that happened in the early 80s with big hoards, medieval hoards being found, and disputes over claiming ownership, and the whole thing about treasure hunters and taking heritage out of the country and all that. And they brought in laws to try and outlaw metal detecting, but it doesn't make metal detecting fully illegal. What it does do is it's illegal to purposely look for archaeology, no matter how, whether it's with a metal detector or not. But there are plenty of ways to metal detect legally, like I've been doing for the last few days. I got permission in the last few days to detect in a park, a local park that has been closed off because of this coronavirus. But I have permission to go in there because I do a bit of work for the local community council, and they are going to be putting a playground in one section. So they're going to be paving over a whole section of green area, and I asked if I can scan over it before they pave over it, and they had no problem. So I had a couple of days in the last week to go in there, and basically all I was looking for was modern coins and jewellery. It's an area where there's been a lot of car boot sales going on for years, but it's not original landscape, it's backfill. There in the area I was in, there was a sports complex put in there about 10 or 12 years ago, and so the green area is all modern backfill, and it was over an area that was a dumping ground, so there's a lot of trash. And that's why I use my 400i, my Garrett Ace 400i with a sniper coil, and I had it on minimum setting. Well, 2 bars of sensitivity, because all I wanted was the stuff off the surface. If you had too much sensitivity, you would dig every square foot of it because there's trash everywhere. So, right, I'll show you some of the finds. I don't have my trash finds with me much, I just have the coinage. So day one, about 2 hours, I got 7 10-cent, 9 20-cent, 5 50-cent, 4 euros, 4 2 euros, and a couple of pendants. Oh, that's just a lump of lead. I had a crucifix, some sort of a pendant. There were a few junk earrings, and there was lots of can slaw. Can slaw is a big thing. Bottle tops. But I'm happy with my 400i that I can actually. I could have dug an awful lot more trash, but I'm getting used to discriminating and knowing what's there with the 400i. Then yesterday I was out in the same place to do another section of it, and I spent about 6 hours out. And in total, between the 2 days, I have over 40 euros. But, you know, it's great to find spendable money, but that's not really the nice thing about it. It's when you hit that something out of the ordinary is when it's nice. So, 28.10 cents yesterday, 12.20 cents, 3.50 cents, 11 euros, and 2 euros. But this was the best one find of the day. Was an Edward 7th. I think it's 1903. I wasn't sure if it was 03 or 08. I must look up when he reigned, but I think it's 1903. Edward 7th, halfpenny, and it's nice patina, in good shape. I guess there's all money in every field, and even though this was all landscaped at one stage and backfilled, that coin could have been dropped in some other area and just leveled out into a new area, and that's where I found it, because it was only down about 2 inches. And an old British pound, 2002, because there's new British pounds out now as far as I know. An earring which is not silver, a bag seal, and there's lots of other trash and bits of copper pipe. Not as much canslaw, because as I said, I got better at discriminating it out. My sticker board, I started requesting from my favourite YouTubers stickers, and some of them have been very kind and sent me stickers. Scottish Relic metal detectors are a good channel. Detectors. Of course, everybody knows Digger Dawn. I love watching Digger Dawn. She's just entertaining in herself, and she gets great finds. She's just a fun channel. I watch a lot of American channels. The Hoover Boys are favourites of mine. They look like they just have fun every time they're out. So there's a few others I'd love to get, but if anybody sees this and you have a channel and you have a sticker, I'd love to get a sticker. But maybe I'll add on a few more detecting videos onto this clip, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Right folks, I just went out to the shed to look at the trash finds before I chuck them in the bin. Usual canslaw, jar lids, bottle tops. Vodka was very popular around this area. I probably dumped as much of this again before I got here. Bits of offcuts, a nice chunk of copper or brass of something. It had a kind of a octagonal shape in the outside of it. Eyes only. Don't know what this gadget is for. Looks like something off of a camera. What does that say? Passive video balun transceiver. Maybe somebody knows what that is. That was just lying on the surface. There's connectors there for wires, whatever that is. And this is not metallic, but it looks like it's a marble, an old marble. Well worn, that was just sitting on the surface. It's a copper pipe, another USB dongle type thing. Lipstick, car light bulb, base of a house bulb. 2 junk earrings, bits of metal, bit of lead, the usual lovely tone bottle ring pulls. And then, because we were around the sports complex, football boot studs, or as they call them in the States, I believe they call them cleats. Yeah, we just call them studs. And bits of other junk, rivet top. Now this has got a bit of age to it. You can still see there's leather still sandwiched in between the bits there. That's an old belt or something, maybe a bit of horse tack or satchel. But yeah, there's a bit of age on that. It's a nice little thing. And this is interesting. This could be, again, a mount off of some sort of a
decoration on leather, maybe a horse leather or something like that. If anybody knows, let me know. Is that hook? Whether that was a straight spike and it bent over, or if it's meant to be bent over, I don't know. And was that a similar type spike on that side? I don't know. But yeah, they're kind of, I'll be keeping them. They're of interest. Junk earrings, fairly elaborate earrings, big. They wanted to be seen anyway. And that's it for the junk. Catch you later. Just another quick clip to run through my preferred tools of the hobby. Weapons of choice, if you will. This is the Garrett Ace 400i that I love. Got this second-hand through Facebook from the UK. I got headphones. I also got the Z-Link transmitter receiver kit, which is brilliant. I don't always put it on because, you know, it can be a little bit cumbersome if you're only doing a quick hunt. But if you're going to be at it for the day, it's well worth it. Just a word on PPE. Gloves, very important, as you know, or this happens. And that was quite sore, and I had to wipe all the blood off of all my equipment. Knee pads, as required. My little spade, I don't go for big long handled ones. I find this is very easy to lug around. Small, you don't need a big spade most of the time anyway, I find. This is from a local army surplus store. It didn't come with the serrations. I sharpened it, and a friend told me, why don't you just cut your own serrations into it? So I did. I could even put a few more if I wanted, but again, I think this cost maybe €12, and it does the job that I wanted to do perfectly. Everybody will have their own personal preference of what type of digging tools they use. This is what I like. Right, the 400i, the coil for the park that I was on the other day, just a sniper coil. I have to say, I'm very impressed with this coil. I thought with a sniper coil like this, I would get no depth whatsoever. But it turns out that I really had to have the sensitivity right down, or it was picking up things 8-10 inches down. And I didn't want that on the park, as I said, because there's loads of trash down there. So I had to have the sensitivity right down, and I was able to get in between a lot of the trash and pick out the good signals, so I was very happy with it. I got that on eBay. I can't remember what I paid for it. I think maybe 80 or 90 euros, maybe. And it's been a fantastic addition. This is the stock DD coil that comes with the 400i. A very good coil, in my opinion. I'm no expert on this, by the way, so you'll all have your own ideas of what's good and bad and everything else. Knee pads, basically a tool pouch for as a finds bag. I have 3 or 4 of these thrown in the back of the van. It's whichever one I put my hand on at the time does me. I got the Garrett pinpointer with the 400i when I bought it, and I did have one of those cheap eBay ones for 22 euros. Waste of time. I know some people say that they've had them for a year or two, no problems. The first one I bought actually was good for the first month, and I thought, oh, why would you spend 100 euros for a pinpointer when you can get a perfectly good one for 22? But over time, the quality showed, and this one has never let me down. And the 3 sensitivity settings, I'm always switching between them for, you know, if you're struggling to find a target, it's very handy to be able to switch sensitivity levels, get closer or further away, you know yourself. I only picked this up a few months ago. The Garrett Edge tool, I think, well, I've only ever had one other, and it was a Black Ada. It was heavy and blunt. Of course, I didn't sharpen it. I should sharpen it, but this one, it's just, I don't know, ergonomically, it does everything you need to do. I will sharpen it. I do need to run the grinder along there just just to sharpen the teeth a little bit more, because when I was cutting out the sod on top, I found I could have done with a little bit more cutting power on the side. But when I was in the park the other day, I didn't bring the spade, I just brought this, and it did what I needed to do, because I was only dealing with fines on the surface anyway. I got this in the States in January. Somebody in my family was traveling to the States, and I have another family member living there, so I bought it on eBay and got it delivered from America to my family member's address in America, and the other family member brought it home for me. So it cost me nothing in postage, and I think it cost me €30 in total. So that's a pretty decent deal when you can do that, because you know yourself, you're getting something shipped, it nearly doubles the price. This is the Simplex. I don't know what to make of the Simplex yet, and it's not that I have anything against it. I just need to get out and give it time and get used to it. It will pick up any metal and it'll go down a fair depth, but trying to decipher what the metal is, I couldn't make head nor tail of it. The same types of signals were giving different VDI numbers. I just need to get more familiar with it. I keep a little pouch there with the extra cables that come with it. I like a nice big coil, and it's a light machine. It's a nice machine ergonomically to use, I think. But yeah, I just need to get out more with it. And then there's the sand scoop. Again, I got the scoop on eBay, I think from the Ukraine or somewhere. €80 again, maybe. Very solid aluminium. I don't do a whole lot of beach work, but I like that scoop. The handle is off of a snow shovel. I have it temporarily riveted on because and covered with my daughter's some sort of tape that she uses. I hope to put a crutch handle. I saw somebody had a crutch on a sand scoop one time, and it was great because they were able to lever out the part because they had the crutch handle, and their arm was held in a you know, the holder part for the crutch, and so they could use a one-handed motion to lift out the scoop. I find with this you have to kick out the scoop if the sand is heavy. So maybe someday I will put a crutch on it if I can get one. I said it to a friend, he put a crutch on his. I just need to find out how he got on with it. Or maybe I might just make a handle that comes out here. But I think a crutch, the angle and all that a crutch is made at, would suit that job perfectly. That's it, pretty much. I hope the video is of interest and I'm not too boring, because I find my own voice bores the shit out of me. Whoops. But yeah, if I do any more vids, sure, maybe you might like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.